Alright, as promised, we have a 3-example video here on how to multiply matrices of different sizes. The previous video was how to multiply matrices that were both 2 by 2 in size, 2 rows, 2 columns. And the rules were pretty easy, pretty monotonous, right? But sometimes we have matrices that are not the same size, and here's how to multiply those matrices. First things first, we always want to start by writing down the dimension of each matrix. This is a 1 row and 2 column matrix. This is a 2 by 2. Alright, this is especially important, this step, because in order to multiply matrices, these numbers on the inside must be exactly the same. So the number of columns in the first matrix and the number of rows in the second matrix, they must be the same in order to be able to multiply these matrices. If they are not the same, just write undefined. You can't do it. If they are the same, then you're able to multiply them, and your answer is going to be a 1 by 2 matrix. So the purple need to be the same, and if they are the same, then your answer matrix is going to be a 1 by 2. That'll be your product. Alright, so here we go. We've got a 1 by 2 matrix. So it's 1 row and 2 columns. Here we go. 1 times 1 plus 3 times negative 2. Over here we're going to use 1 times negative 5 plus 3 times 0. And we'll simplify that. 1 minus 6, negative 5 plus 0. So our final product is negative 5, negative 5. And that, of course, is a 1 by 2 matrix, which is what the rules said that we were going to get. Number 2. First things first, let's identify the size of each matrix. I've got a 3 by 2 matrix multiplying by 2 by 2 matrix. These inner numbers are the same, so we know we're able to multiply them. These outer numbers will give us our answer. Our solution, our product matrix, is going to be a 3 by 2. Alright, so we need to set up a 3 by 2, which is a really tall matrix. 3 rows and 2 columns. So here we go. Negative 2 times negative 6 plus, and of course I'm going to move that out of the way for a second. Move it all the way over here. Starting over, negative 2 times negative 6 plus 2 times negative 4. Moving over here, we're going to use row 1, column 2, so negative 2 times 2 plus 2 times negative 2. Using a lot of the same skills and patterns that we'd used in our previous lesson. Row 2, so we're going to use this with column 1. So 0 times negative 6 plus negative 2 times negative 4. Over here we're going to use row 2, so this row times this column. 0 times 2 plus negative 2 times negative 2. Down here we're going to use row 3 times column 1, negative 6 times negative 6 plus 3 times negative 4. Over here, row 2, column 2, negative 6 times 2 plus 3 times negative 2. Simplify. We've got some stuff to work, work to do here. We've got positive 12 minus 8. We've got 0 plus 8, and we've got 36 minus 12. Over here, negative 4 minus 4, 0 plus 4, negative 12 minus 6. Simplify it one more time. 12 minus 8 is 4. 0 plus 8, 36 minus 12 is 24. Over here we have negative 8, positive 4, negative 18. So that is the answer. Again, just to check to make sure we're good to go. The product matrix was supposed to be a 3 by 2. So 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and 2 columns. So that checks out. Alright, last one. This one here it looks a little bit crazier, but it's actually not quite as bad. So let's go ahead and get some space going. So for this one, again, we always want to start by writing the dimensions. This is a 2 by 4, and this is a 4 by 2. In order for these to be okay to multiply, the middle numbers have to be the same. So 4 has to be the same as 4. The number of columns in the first matrix must be the same as the number of rows in the second. It is, so we can multiply them. As we multiply them, our answer is going to be 2 by 2, which is not so bad. So here we go. Let's go to 2 by 2. Alright, so it's not going to be very tall, but we're going to bring our other bracket way out here, and I'll show you why in a second. Alright, so we're going to go first row. Let me highlight this really quick. We're going to go first row times first column. And that's going to give us this entry right there. Okay? So here we go. Let's get those out of the way. Well, actually, no, let's keep those there for a second. Just for now, anyway. Notice I'm leaving a really long strip here. I'm going to go negative 4 times negative 4 plus 1 times 1 plus 4 times negative 6 plus 2 times 5. Okay. So that is the first step. Let's get rid of these. We'll go down to the second row. So we're going to go second row times first column. So I have 1 times negative 4, negative 1 times 1, plus 1 times negative 6, plus negative 3 times 5. Again, that was 1 times negative 4, plus negative 1 times 1, plus 1 times negative 6, plus negative 3 times 5. Alright, moving on to this column over here. I actually need a little bit more room. Let's see if I can kind of squeeze this in as far as I can over here. So now we're going to go for the first row. This time we're going to multiply it by the second column, and that'll give us this whole entry right here. Negative 4 times 2 plus 1 times 1 plus 4 times negative 2 plus 2 times 5. And that goes there. So now we're going to use row 2, column 2, and that'll give us this entire entry. So here we go. 1 times 2 plus negative 1 times 1 plus 1 times negative 2 plus negative 3 times 5. Okay, cool. So that leaves us with all this simplification to take care of. It's not that bad though. It looks worse than it is. So I'll take it down here. I've got just a 2x2. So it's going to be that and that. Well, actually, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Not too much though. So here we go. -4 times -4 is 16 plus 1 minus 24 plus 10. Down here we have -4 minus 1 minus 6 minus 15. Up here we have -8 plus 1 minus 8 plus 10. Here we have 2 minus 1 minus 2 minus 15. And finally, let's go ahead and simplify the whole thing now. Make it really small, just down to a 2x2. So I've got 17 here. 16 plus 1 is 17. 17 plus 10 is 27 minus 24 is 3. If you can't do that in your head, use your calculator. -4 minus 1 is -5. Minus 6 is -11. -26. -8 plus 1 is -7. -7 minus 8 is -15. -15 plus 10 is -5. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 2 is -1. So -16. And that is your answer. Again, it is a 2x2, which is what we wanted it to be. If you look all the way up here, that was our goal. Alright, that was the size of the product matrix. So I hope that helped.